Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe to our channel so that we can grow together. Don't forget to click the notification bell to allow YouTube to ring that bell whenever we release a video like this. Please give us that support. You can also help us by giving this video likes. When you do that, it goes a long way in promoting our videos to our returning subscribers and all our supporters. Thank you very much for even sharing our videos, for every little support that you give to this channel. You're the reason why we are here today. The Adani deal is something that is not leaving us because people are still trying to discuss and scrutinize just how William Ruto, in his right senses, in his wisdom or lack of the same, came to an agreement or even imagined that he could get into a deal with Adani. Because we have looked at the background check only reveals a very corrupt and a rotten company. He's left a trail of people making noise, demonstrations, and rejections. Because when he comes for business, he does not come with clean hands. Now, William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, called this a PPP, a public-private partnership, something that is very real and is very viable. That whenever we have a parastatal that is not making any profit, then what we need to do is to look for an impeccable private investor who can come in, pump in money. But even as that is happening, the question that is being asked to this government, how did they come to single-handedly, pick on Adani? Because under the PPP, the public-private partnership, the process should be competitive because we've got very many investors all over the world who, if they were to be given a chance to come and make their proposals that, we need to expand our airport and we need to partner with you, many of them would come and a background check would be done and we would get investors who really mean business. So how did the government of Kenya come to single-handedly pick Adani without any competitive due process? But then when this question is asked, no one is giving any proper answer. And then today, the new CS, Davis Chirchir, who also had a very, some unique background, the way he handled the energy sector, is now the new CS in the Ministry of Transport. And it was very deliberate that as Ruto exited Murkomen, he ensured that Chirchir would be there because these are two friends of William Samoei Ruto, and it seems he wanted Chirchir to perpetuate what had been initiated by Murkomen. So they tell us that this is now what we call privately, initiated program, where a company would simply come and tell you that, I have seen that your airport is bad, and so I want to help you expand it. I want to help you build it. Now, our Honorable Churchill was being questioned today. How did Adani come to realize or to know that as a country we needed an investor? We hadn't, announced it there. There was no any advertisement. We didn't tell them we were looking for an investor. So how would Adani come up, just wake up one day and say, here we are, we want an investor? So Davis Chirchir was put under pressure by our very usual Sam Gituku to explain. And I want you to listen to this interview and tell me where there is anywhere in that interview Chirchir is explaining how did Adani know. That is the question. How did they know that we needed an investor? That is the question that was being asked. And I want you to see how he's trying to maneuver, he's trying to boycott that question. And it will simply tell you that this is a scam. Kindly take a look.
How did Adani know that Kenya was looking for a new airport?
What happens is in a privately initiated proposal,
Yep.
Investors would look for opportunities. Like I do understand in this country, we could do better in investing in housing hostels for our students. And I could originate a privately initiated proposal to the Ministry of Education that if you provide land, I would be able to develop hostels at this kind of terms. That will be taken through the due process, evaluated to the extent that government fiscal headroom can accommodate. We can say, no, we have capacity to build. If the government doesn't have capacity, we can say, yes, we can look at the process and take it through the due process in line with the law.
That is within the country?
Within the country.
Adani origin is India. How did they learn about it in Nairobi?
There are very many proposals. I've just come from energy, and you may be aware that most of the power generation programs developing and feeding into the grid are PPP programs. I think because PPP Act number 14 of 2021 is fairly a new act, I basically think that we have not socialized much or spent time to understand this procurement process, which is really established.
So the question I'm asking, Waziri, look, we had a cabinet dispatch, I think it was on 11th of June, okaying some two documents from the from the Kenya Airports Authority, that is on the master plan and the policy of the KAA. Adani presented their PIP, privately initiated proposal, in March 2024. How did they learn about it before even cabinet approved such a thing?
I think Gituku, it's not a secret that we've been seeking to build an airport in Kenya for a long time. Yes, we've been trying to do it under the government fiscal headroom. But for a $2 billion investment and the kind of debt that the government is sitting on government balance sheet today, we are unable to accommodate those kind of projects. So we've done a feasibility study. We've sought to build an airport on government investment. Unfortunately, your clip did really bring out the fact that, and we are all aware that we tried to do a greenfield as early as 2012, 2013. And unfortunately, we've not had an airport today.
So, ladies and gentlemen, from that interview, has the Honorable Minister even tried to explain how Adani came to realize that we needed an investor? It is a question that is not being answered because Adani presented its proposals in March, yet the cabinet came to sit down and try to approve it in June. So Adani presented the papers even before the cabinet, put out an advertisement, or Kenya put out gave an advertisement that we needed an investor. And the kind, be that as it may now, even if Adani just came and maybe Adani just woke up and maybe dreamt that we needed an investor, the kind of proposal that Adani gave us and we were about to accept is a scam, because there is no way we can give a 30-year lease and then after that they still retain 18% of return on investment. We don't know the fate of our workers. Before the late president, John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania, died, he had cautioned the country. Also, he was cautioning Africa that some investors would come with crazy proposals that Mr. Magufuli describes that only a madman, only a mad president can accept.
Na wawekezaji hao wanakuja na masharti ya ajabu, ni ya kichaa tu anayeweza kuyakubali. Anakuambia akijenga bandari pale, uhakikishe uendelezi bandari yoyote kutoka Tanga mpaka kusini Mtwara. Maana yake you are not allowed to construct any port. Ndio masharti. Wanataka ukishawapa pale, huruhusiwi hata kwenda kucollect revenue. TRA mnaisema iko hapa. Hairuhusiwi kukanyagwa pale wakishafanya investment. Wanatakiwa uwape guarantee ya kwanza bila kuwauliza miaka 33. Lakini ndio nawaeleza sasa. lakini unatakiwa uwape rizi tofauti na sheria za nchi for 99 years, na huruhusiwi hata kwenda kumuuliza atakaye kwenda kuwekeza pale, na wao wawe na mandate ya kuichukua hiyo eneo kama ardhi yao, lakini mnatakiwa mlipe compensation ya kazi watakayoifanya ya kudrag kuchimba ile bandari. Basi.
This is why I'm telling you that some presidents are God sent. You can imagine that John Magufuli came out and was exposing the kind of proposals that these investors put on the table. While ours was done in a very clandestine manner, people didn't know about it. In fact, it took the effort of a whistleblower whose life now is in danger because he's being threatened to tell us that someone wants to take over our JKIA. It means someone somewhere sat down and he had crafted a plan to dupe Kenyans of their money. What is the conclusion, ladies and gentlemen? Number one, we all know that this is a scam. Someone wanted to make a kill, and this money was going to get into some few pockets at the expense of the larger masses. This is the reason why many people are making a lot of noise about the policies of this government. They are not meant for us. They are not good for this country. They are meant to benefit a few people. They are not looking at the hard-earned cash that Kenyans will struggle to pay this. Number two, someone wants to retain this 18% that Adani is retaining. I don't think it is Adani. These are Kenyans who have come up with a program and they want to get free money. Can you imagine 18% for entirety? That after the 30 years lease deal is over, then they continue to get money. These are our usual suspects, corrupt group that want to perpetuate this corruption in a very clever manner. But I think God has been with us, and the whistleblower has given us, and we really need to protect this whistleblower because we are in a moment, we're at a moment where people are being kidnapped and we don't know where they go. And our Inspector General does not respect court orders even if he's told, can you come and explain? Now, when we saw our JKIA leaking, it was meant to portray this airport as very pathetic and one that really needed expansion and renovation. And I think that it was very deliberate by Murkomen, so that later they would be explaining to us that the reason why we needed an investor is because our airport was leaking. And so we need someone who could come up, pump in more money. This is how these people work. And that is why Murkomen has now been struck by Chirchir, because this deal has to go through. And that's what I'm thinking. As it is, Kenyans have refused. I only want to plead with the Kenya Vision workers. They should not only be looking at their jobs. There's a lot at stake in this deal. I saw them saying, with the Tuoli leading, that once they are going to look, they have a 10-day period to look at the proposals. But if you look and listen to them very carefully, they are only concerned about their job security. Once they have been given, that they have been assured of their security, they will accept this deal. But let me tell you something. It is very easy. This deal is going for 30 years. They will be told, we will retain you. But after they've been retained, these people will retrench them. You see, they will be looking for, scapegoats to kick them out. Because what Ruto needs is just one thing. Just to calm the country down. The aviation workers accept this deal. And then once it is signed and they start working, they will not work for a year. They will all be kicked out. So let them see the bigger picture of our airport going to individuals, money getting into individual pockets, losing our sovereignty. If they look at all that larger picture, apart from just the job losses, they will lead just the same way Gen Zs led the strikes, and Kenyans will be behind them. Because the last time I checked, JKI does not belong to the Kenya aviation workers only. It does not belong to Chirchir. It does not belong to William Samoei Ruto. So Chirchir goofed. And this tells us that there is a lot of lies in it. I don't know what to think.